national anthem. O Uganda, O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we always stand.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this episode of NTV People's Parliament. We are coming to you live from Budaka District. For those watching from home, we are in Budaka, and it became a district in 2006 on 1st of July. But prior to that, it was part of Palisa District. So if you're home and you're wondering where we are in the eastern part of this country, and we are in my home district. For those seeing a smile on my face, it's because I'm in my hometown, like many of you would say. I'm a born and raised of Budaka, and I'm proud to be here and honored that I was welcomed to be able to represent my people and also to have them air their views live here on NTV. Welcome, honorable members, to the August House. So we are in Budaka District today to discuss a number of issues ranging from access to social services, as well as poverty and livelihoods. But in this particular segment, we are going to discuss poverty and livelihoods. So we thank you so much for coming here to be part of this conversation, because you're representing the households of so many people who have not been able to come here today. At this point, we have a honorable member before you, and it's the RDC of Budaka District, and he's going to give us a preamble of all the things that I've talked about that we're here to address, that we're here to seek answers for, that the people of Budaka are here to understand. So, honorable member, thank you so much for honoring our invitation, first of all. You welcomed us very warmly in Budaka. And so please, take to the floor and give us.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say it's a big honor to have this opportunity to, let the community and the public know that there is also Budaka District that exists on this continent. Needless to say, there are occasions where you say, where do you come from? Where do you stay? And you are like, Budaka, and someone begins to scratch, where is Budaka? Is it in Karamoja? But Budaka is right away here in the eastern part of this country, and in Bukedi sub-region, formerly under Tororo District until 2006, 1st July, when Budaka became a full district. And I must say that Budaka is a peaceful place to stay. When you look at the environment, when you look at the climate, when you look at the terrain, it's very flat. And according to the national census, population census of 2024, these were the results: 138, 138,098 persons are male. Well, some people have been produced during that time. And about 143,000 female. And I want to give you a brief of what Budaka stands for and what makes Budaka a very special place, and what probably we as government have been able to do. But I will bring in two aspects, maybe three. The first one is that there is an economic element of it. Budaka does not have a lot of industries. We only have one. If you asked us which industries here in Budaka, we always point at Kamonkoli, and that is Uganda Clays. That's the only big industry that we can point at. Otherwise, there are also a few pockets of industry that are creeping in. which make Budaka a wonderful place to look at. And economic-wise still, we would also love to hear that there are a few people involved in small-scale businesses, less than SME, just less than that. And some of these people are basically involved in shops at small scale. You will not see largely a big wholesale shop here in town, which makes room. You know, one lecturer was telling me that once you reach in a place and you see a lot of people trying to ask for an item, that is an opportunity for you to come in. Before I forget, I can also point at the element of politics. In 2021 elections, NRM government, which fielded the President of the Republic of Uganda now, as it is a flag bearer for presidential ticket, was able to garner over 60% of the results that were casted in 2021, giving NRM a stable and also a firm foundation in this land. And the district on these issues, because I've been reliably told to speak about areas that are so touching to our community. You all know, according to statistics, that Budaka was rated among the poverty-stricken districts in the country, after Karamoja and the rest. However, I must give a big thank you to the district administration of Budaka through the CAO and the technical team, the planner, because a lot of engagements have been brought in. You would also love to know that these engagements have been able to try to bring people on board and try to make people come out of poverty, which is the talk of town. You would also like to remember that when the president came in here to launch PDM in Kibuku, a few, not even a year ago, about a year maybe, he said that these people work for only the stomach, and it has been the talk of the country. When you go to Toro, when you go to Bunyoro, ekida chonka. So it has become the talk of the day. Some of you are older than myself, and maybe through history, you will also agree that we thank you so much. I beg that you give me 1 minute to summarize up this. Surely, Honorable Member. You also have to agree that so many years ago, 30 years ago maybe, we used to have the ebiaji, the granaries. Somebody could do maybe cowpeas, could do granules, and you put them somewhere to save for the future. But nowadays, not only in Budaka here, you go through the whole country and you not see any single granary. People are just living from hand to mouth. You live from that. The mentality of the fishermen. You know, a fisherman will not always have to have something to save. He knows I have the nets, I have the strength, I have the wisdom, the lake is there, I will go and drop my nets and I will catch the fish. So this thing is trying to come out, and probably in less than a minute, allow me point out something on PDM as one of the biggest engagement that Budaka is trying to do through various avenues to make our people come out of poverty. Just only this time, when we began to receive this, I would like to report that 19 billion has been dispersed from the time PDM was born. And many people have been able to, to catch up with these benefits, and they are doing well. I do not have time enough to give some success stories, but I believe once time is given, the whole world will be able to appreciate Budaka, and how many people are jumping out and appreciating the government of the Republic of Uganda. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, RDC, for honoring our invitation and for giving your submission. And at this opportunity, I'm going to welcome the LC5 chairperson to take on to the floor of the August House, and he'll also reflect and tell us exactly how have residents benefited maybe from the government programs, why is Budaka cited among the districts with high poverty rates, and also to clearly make us understand. The president has consistently talked about the 4-acre model system from subsistence agriculture into the 4-acre model. Is it something that the residents of Budaka are willing to take on? Because it's one thing for the president to continuously talk about it. It's another thing for the residents also to take on to it. They have big chunks of land that have only crops at a subsistence level. So, Honorable Member, first of all, thank you for welcoming us to the district. We received a warm welcome, and we are glad to have you today in the August House.
Glad having you too.
You're kindly going to introduce yourself and your names for the members who are watching from home who don't know.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
The name is Paje Emmanuel, the district chairperson, Budaka. Honorable colleagues, allow me to say good afternoon to everybody. Budaka is what we are, it's what we were born, and it's what we live. Amidst which are those challenges. One, when I go to how we embrace the government programs that are targeted towards elevation of poverty, there have been a number of them since Budaka became a district. When we talk of PDM today, still we do struggle. Until of recent that we are trying to up the game, you find that 2 sub-counties are being served by one extension worker. You don't expect these farmers to receive the extension services like it would be.
Do we have a PDM focal person in the building?
Definitely we have.
Do we have a PDM focal person here?
The district planner is our
I will later
focal
call him
person.
to help us understand why the extension workers are not told.
Another issue which could be also maybe factored in is that level of poverty. We don't have a particular economic activity within. The RDC area alluded to that. Apart from our rice growing, which majority of us take as an economic activity, the rest we grow for subsistence living, subsistence farming. The soya beans you see, the potatoes you see, the cassava you see, mention it all. The big chunks of land, they are non-existent. I guess within Budaka as a district, you can hardly find 10 people within a sub-county who own 10 acres of land. I think the honorable colleagues can confirm to that. Very few people own such big chunks of land, and it's one other factor that maybe the 4-acre model has not yet been adapted easily, or it's not working out. Besides that, also that poverty factor, to run a 4-acre model, you need to have inputs. And if you can't have those inputs, the best you can do is to rent out your land to those who can afford to use it, and they pay you in terms of rent at the end of the day. I mean that maybe to summarize.
To summarize and submit.
As a district, we are appreciative of government's interventions that have come along, but we continue to employ more so our community. And the attitude is also kind of a problem. We need to change our attitude. We shouldn't think that when these government programs come in, they are for the government. I always tell people during NAD's time, there are those who were given these animals, heifers, and a person would not bother looking for pasture to give the heifer in the name of saying that animal is for the government.
So, honorable members, is it true that they are giving you heifers and you decide to starve them because you're saying it's for the government? You're given, actually, there was a statement of they're given the cow, then they want you to bring the hay.
They want you like to bring the hay. That's a bad attitude. It also contributes to our poverty within. I beg to submit and thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. But before you leave still, as you take your seat, I'm going to kindly request you to hang in there, because even then, after them expressing, the Honorable Members, because you've come and you've pinned them on what they're not doing. So when they come to submit, later on, you'll come and help us on the way forward after they've aired out their views. Now, we've all heard from the Speaker himself. The LC5 chairperson is saying there is a poor attitude towards implementing the government programs, right? Yes. There is, from the community members, from you, honorable members. We are also saying that there is no particular economic activity in the district currently that is specific as a source of income, the savings culture, but then why are you going to save if you've not earned? So we are still discussing poverty and livelihoods in Budaka District, and next we are going to call on two different honorable members of parliament to take onto the floor and explain to us, for them, what do they think has kept Budaka in poverty for all this while? For now, NTV Post Parliament is going to take a very short break. When we return, we shall be able to bring you all these views. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. This is NTV People's Parliament, and we are coming to you live from Budaka District. I would like to recognize a number of district heads that are in the house today, and that is the COW. I also want to recognize the councillors, all the area leaders, officials from the DHO's office, officials from the health sector, and also the education sector. Thank you so much for coming here in large numbers. So at this moment, I open the floor onto the honorable members. Please, you can freely put up your hand and I'll pick on you. Please, honorable member, come and take the floor of the August House and give your submission on what you think is keeping us, Budaka, as a district in this kind of setting where we are continuously being picked on as one of the poverty-stricken districts. Honorable member, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Agram Helen, and I would like to talk about poverty. Why have we remained in poverty as Budaka and Bugwere? There are so many reasons, as you'll be hearing them from various speakers. Just like you have given us 2 minutes, I want to mention 1 or 2 points. Point number 1, in 1986, the NRM government captured power. And in 1987, Budaka was raided, cows were raided. People had lots and lots of cattle, including the speaker, myself. I had a farm. It was taken within a twinkling of an eye. We did not stop there. Wives and girls were raped. We lost quite a lot. People were displaced. In 1988, Madam Speaker, if I'm not mistaken, you could have not been born by then. If you were born, if at all you were born, then you were very young. But I'm very sure you were not yet born. In 1988,
I'll not say that, yeah.
In 1988, they came for the balance of the cows that had been left behind. Yeah. We were totally left with nothing. Since then, Bugwere has never remained the same. We have tried to work, to hustle, to ensure that we eradicate poverty from our homes, specifically from my home. I try to work a day and a night. I try to say, let me join the council. Maybe I eradicate poverty from my home, but all in vain. I've remained below the poverty line. So basically, it's not that Bugwere are not hardworking. We are very, very hardworking people. But the very first reason, the very inception, the poverty came from, started from that point when we were raided. From nowhere, we woke up in the morning. Our farms, our crows, our whatever, all were not there. And since then, we have not recovered. So,
So, Honorable Member, as this continues, can you point out any others, because that has been noted down? Are there any other points that you look out for now, the Budaka now, and you're saying these are some of the other reasons why Budaka has continuously been picked on as one of the districts that are poverty-stricken?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Budaka
1 minute.
Budaka has no.
And please move closer to the microphone.
Budaka does not have a serious or beneficial cash crop. We have rice that we are trying to lean on. But sincerely speaking, the prices keep fluctuating. Today it is at 1,800. Tomorrow it is at 1,500 a kilo. The other day it's at 2,500. It's not reliable. Rice is not reliable. Okay. And in most cases we are no duka. Today you are in the swamp. Tomorrow they are threatening to throw you out. So you even fear to invest in the swamp. You are fearing to invest in rice. So we do not have a serious cash crop. Like the people of Bugisu, they have coffee. But with us, what do we have? We used to lean on the cattle. That was our serious cash crop.
So what do you think?
We do not have any serious cash crop in Budaka. What do you
think can be the way forward? What do you think should be the way forward? The leaders are
way
here
forward.
Hearing you.
The government of Uganda should compensate us. Let our cows be given back to us. Yes, that's the only remedy.
Thank you so much.
The president should honor his pledge. People in Teso have been compensated. People in northern Uganda have been compensated. Why is it that Budaka, even in Teso here, even up to Bukedeya here, I'm reliably informed that the people of Teso have been compensated. Why us? At least we have not voted the president below 50%. We have voted him. We have voted the NRM government above 50%. The RDC has been confirming to us that we voted over 60%. Why not compensate us? We have not been violent. We have not been pro-opposition. We have always lined up behind the NRM. Why can't we be compensated? I'm very sure that if we are compensated, we are given our animals back, Budaka District will come back to normal.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for your submission. People are clapping this time loudly because they have talked about the compensating for them. But initially, people are also leaving here very good ideas. You're not clapping for them. Honorable Members. Thank you so much for your submission, Honorable Member. And I would like to take on to the next Honorable Member. Please come and take the floor of the August House. It's going to be a gender balance. Hey, I'm going to have a woman and a man. Ladies out there, please, Honorable Members.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We are going to speak to the microphone. Introduce yourself.
All of members in the House. I'm calling Bugonya Patrick Wankoko, a citizen from Nabweyo. Nabweyo, who has got the rock Kataizura. Madam Speaker and members, being an elder, I will give it possible to make you understand that once we had cooperatives, people were developing a lot because the development, assistants of cooperatives were at the sub-county. But now, once you start a cooperative, they say you will go to the officer who is found at the district. So we have no cooperative societies which could implement these the so-called PDM and so-called circles But if they could be cooperatives, we could develop more than, the speed could be more than this.
Okay.
Addition to that, one has said about compensation. We people at Inabweyo, we bought land in Buyikwe. But in 81, really, from 81 up to 85, there was what we call Bush War. The president promised that we shall be compensated. Yet a lot of people from Budaka are within here. They are waiting for compensation, but it is not taking place. Once you go to the RDC tells you that that is beyond my authority. Therefore, you better go to the president.
We have a representative. He will come on later to tell us.
Being a common man like this, how can I go to the state house and try to tell the president about that issue once the RDC fails? This is the letter from the RDC, which I was given to approach the president, which I'm failing. Now, should I hand you this report? Thank
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Order, Honorable Members, order. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Member for his submission. And also, I'm going to give a copy of this, and we have the Deputy RDCs in the building. Please prepare later at the end. We shall have at least something to say about the compensation, probably. At this very point, I'm going to take on to another honorable member. I'm going to have a lady at the back. Please come and take to the floor. We had a gentleman earlier. Please, when you give your submissions, don't leave, honorable members. Stay here. We still have a number of issues to discuss, ranging from health. Now we're only talking about poverty and livelihoods, but later we have health. We have the cow in the building, a man with all the answers. You know, the civil servants are here. They are willing to speak to you about what services you can still access. We have the in charge of Budaka Health Center 4 in the building. She'll also be here. So at this moment, we are still discussing poverty and livelihoods in Budaka, and want to understand what aren't we doing as a district. Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for taking onto the floor.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I believe we are talking about poverty alleviation. I believe Bugwere, as a district, we need a minister. One of our problems is we have a lot of, our people need to be enlightened.
Yes.
We have land.
Order.
But most of it has been fragmented because of the population boost. The population rate is high. Definitely inheritance issues. People give birth to many children, and this has led to land fragmentation. Okay. That's why when the LC5 was talking about the 4 acres, it's very hard to come across families with this kind of land. So it's hard for families to grow to grow crops on a large scale. That's one of the issues. It's mostly subsistence farming, and it's very hard to do business, to leave crops for business when you have a large family to feed.
At this moment, I'm going to take another break, but when we return, we shall come back with a way forward, because like we move around, we keep telling you, we want to know what is working, what is not working, and how can we move forward? How can we improve on this kind of stating so that we can have a brighter future for every Ugandan? NTV People's Parliament takes another break. When we return, we come with solutions to some of the challenges that have been presented here today. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, and we are coming to you from Budaka District in the eastern part of Uganda. We are discussing poverty and livelihoods in Budaka. And today we are here to understand what is keeping Budaka as a district in this poverty state and how can we move forward as a district. I'm going to take on to some members to also give some of their submissions on why they think Budaka District, their hometown, their home district, is still struggling with these poverty numbers. Please come and take to the floor of the August House and tell us why do you think Budaka is still in this state of poverty, even after government interventions, even after leaders have been on ground to try and bring life to the livelihoods in Budaka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Gadala Daffin. I'm the district councillor representing workers.
And you're going to address the House.
Yes, thank you. When we talk about poverty in Budaka district, it's not just something we shall really not take because there's a lot of poverty in Budaka district. Efforts have always been there to stop poverty in Budaka district, but I think it has always landed on the soils that are not fertile. Why? There are main factors that are causing poverty in Budaka district. I'll start with insecurity. There's a lot of insecurity in Budaka district. We have the police, we have other organs that are trying to maybe form some security, but it is not working because you find that locals are trying very hard to fight this poverty issue, but you find that there are these other people who take advantage of the security that is not there to come and raid other people's properties. I will give an example of myself. I had 3 cattle, and they were, actually, I was expecting, because they were all expecting. So at the moment, I was like, oh, at least I will make sure that these cattle eradicate poverty for me. But I was surprised that one fateful night, I was attacked and they took all my cattle. And this really drove me back to where I was coming, yet I was fighting so hard to make sure that I ran away from
And did
poverty.
you report the case to the authorities?
Yes.
Were you helped?
But even if you report, they will always tell you that they will start maybe to investigate. They will investigate until you get tired. Every day you'll be going there, they will be telling you to wait. And the other thing, apart from security, we lack even role models that can come up. We lack people who have succeeded, who are up there, who can come back to the ground and become role models for these young generations that are growing. People who have succeeded are just there. They are not coming back to sensitize these people, because we always learn by seeing. When you see someone who has succeeded and they are telling you something, at least maybe they would learn. But these people are not coming back to sensitize people. There are projects here, but still people will not know why, because there is limited communication and people may not get some information that would be useful to the societies. So you find that as we are struggling to fight, there are these factors that are not really allowing us to go through.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. I've taken two good points. I love the point of role models. You're going to clap for me for coming back to Budaka, eh? Honorable members, you're going to... They keep saying you should love yourself a little bit more. Born and raised of Budaka, I'm so proud that when they asked, where should we go next? I said, we are going to my home district. So I'm glad to be here, and thank you so much for coming in big numbers. You can be what you want to be in life. You can achieve it. So at this point, I want to wind up this conversation, and I'm going to pick on to, you see, it's bad manners, to have a plate of food and you keep eating from the other side. I'm going to pick on to the Honorable Member right before me as the last speaker of this segment, and then I'll call on to the LC5 and the PDM focal person, and we shall wind up the poverty program. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ikendeza Humphrey Hastings are my name. Yes. A councillor representing people with disabilities, Budaka District. Madam Speaker, Budaka, agriculture is the backbone. In Budaka, people are engaged in farming, but the challenge we have is the unreliable climate. The government of Uganda came up with an intervention of a micro-scale irrigation program. But the condition to access this program is very harsh. So the local farmers in Kadimkulu, where I come from, cannot access this program because of the conditions. And yet this program, if accessed, can help the farmers to irrigate the crops. Finally, Madam Speaker, I would say that since agriculture is our economic activity in Budaka, we need to have mechanization, accessibility to modern mechanization like tractors. If the government can come up with tractors at sub-county level, then the local person can access them at affordable price so that we can have what? Good farming. And finally, Madam Speaker, the revival of cooperatives. Previously, when I was still young, my father used to tell me that we used to have cooperative banks. These were banks for the farmers. They could access the funds to invest in their farming. So I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much for those submissions. They were straight up to point. And at this point, I'd like to call upon the district planner to come and address some of the challenges that have been mentioned and what is the way forward for the district. What do we have? What plan do we have? And how long is this plan going to take to help Budaka be alleviated from poverty?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Madam Speaker.
You're going to speak directly to the microphone.
Yeah, I'm called Kavise Shaban, the district planner of Budaka, and as well the PDM focal person. The first issue which was raised was to do with what the district chairperson was talking about. That is to do with extension services in reference to the implementation of PDM. You wanted to find out why we are failing to provide extension staff in our local governments. It is not us who are failing to provide. What I can tell you, Madam Speaker, is that the people of this place are highly educated. They have all the skills required to transform this place. How do you tell this? You run an advert. If you run an advert, you receive so many applicants, and you fail even to recruit the people because they are available. But what is limiting is the government policy. Because for us to recruit here, you must get authority from the Ministry of Public Service.
Okay.
And this authority is always provided on availability of a wage bill. So the wage which they normally give us here to run cannot enable us recruit and pay the extension staff. So people are always trained. We also have the first pillar which deals with extension. They must teach people what the president always calls ekibalo. That before you engage into an enterprise, you should calculate and see whether it is profitable. So the extension staff we have, limited as they are, they always undertake the training of our farmers. We train the farmers before they get the money. But what is critical is that because of the poverty, these people always hide. Even if you train them that rear pigs, with them, they have something behind them that when you give them the money, they will not buy the what?
So they already have programs running in their head.
In their head. So you cannot change that one all of a sudden because you need some time to train those people.
So you advise them. What do you advise them? They are here.
Yeah, so
and they'll be watching you live.
Yeah, the advice I can give to the people of Dhaka, like the district community development officer noted, we should not always eat the seed. We should protect the seed and allow the seed to do what? To multiply. Because as I speak now, when it comes to dairy, the records I have, we have so far bought over 1,000 dairy cows. But I'm not sure if we visited those farmers, those animals are there. Because if those animals were there, then we would be having a lot of what? A lot of impact.
Yes.
Because even the chairperson has been having a lot of interventions across. But before I wind up, since the bill has gone, poverty in Bukedi, the president came up with what they call Bukedi strategic plan. The honorable talked about restocking. We are from Bukedi region, but when they were providing ministries, they made this district was part of Palisa, but they picked Palisa and put it under the Ministry of Tesowat Affairs. Now, when they put Palisa under Ministry of Tesowat Affairs, they do restocking. The people of Palisa get cows, while the people of Budaka don't get what? Cows. Yet all of us were in Palisa, and we are in what? In Bukedi.
So what do you have to tell
That's why
government?
she was emphasizing that if that is the case, since we have Karamoja Affairs, Northern Uganda, Tesa Affairs, Bunyora Affairs, headed by a minister from Bugwere, let's also have the ministry for what? For Bugwere Affairs.
Okay.
I think that's what the lady was what? She didn't mean the person, but she was meaning that.
Thank you for that clarity. It's very important to
Now,
clarify.
with that one, the president came up with the strategic plan for Bukedi.
Okay.
And the members have been talking about cash crops and the rest of it. So they came up with the 2 high-value crops, that is coffee and cocoa. And they have established a seed multiplication center at Datik.
Okay.
Datik is here in Kiki. So Datik is going to provide the seedlings to the farmers, because they say an acre you can get, like, for the training they have been telling us, 10 million.
When does this distribution start?
It is on.
It's already on. Are there some people have received
But
already?
you buy at a cost. A seedling is 1,500.
Okay.
That is for that intervention of a cash crop. Because according to the scientists, they said that here where we are in Budaka, those crops can do well. And that is now another mindset which we need to do to our people.
So they came through and the soils were tested. So we are positive that the soils can actually take onto these cash crops.
According to the scientists,
Exactly.
and the Ministry for Science, Technology and what? Innovation. Because the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation is the one spearheading that program of innovation.
So we are remaining positive. Thank you so much, Honorable Member, for that submission. And later on, still, as a district planner, in the next segment, I will have you back onto the floor of the August House for another different submission. Let me call on to the LC5 chairperson to also give his submission on what's the way forward. And I'm seeing a lot of mindset change, and every person moves with their mind. So how are we going to impart mindset change in order to alleviate our households from poverty? And also, as I'm now as a man, not as LC5.
Yes.
The men are creating new households, even when they can't feed the ones that they have.
New households.
And we're already having poverty. The ones they have cannot be fed at 7,900 shillings a day, and we have a new one.
You know, it's quite relative. There are families that have had 50 children and they are well off.
Ha.
Those with 5.
There we go. The handsome men of Budaka.
But then allow me, Madam Speaker,
Yes.
first get on a few issues that I noted, which are of high importance. One is the skilling program at Tirinyi. One of my brothers was lamenting here. I will assure you that I must first thank the President for coming to Tirinyi to see that Tirinyi is officially opened as a skilling hub, because I had a challenge in Budaka District. The first lot we had for Tirinyi, we only managed to achieve 24 out of the 26 slots after begging people to come on board. You know us here, we always like things which are already finished and things that have been tested. Nobody wants to be tested on in Budaka. The second lot, we had 25. 2 were affected because of the conditions, health conditions. The third lot, which came back a month, I must mention, when we were taking them, we only achieved 14. Nobody should lie to you in Budaka District. The issue is we minimize some of these skills, some of these courses. When you tell somebody that you're going to learn bakery, confectionery, shoemaking, they see it as so alien, as if it's for those who are not successful. Even what my brother is lamenting over here, Humanity First Institute, I so happened to be one of the first teachers there of ICT, 2007. I used to be paid 70,000 shillings with the first class degree in computer science. You can ask Nadim and the rest when I just come out of my career. It was a tug of war. I can even give you additional information. You see Livingstone International University here. It's in the land of Budaka. But you go there to attend a graduation ceremony and you begin shedding tears. You see, students from Congo, Ethiopia, but our own children here from Budaka, you can even hardly get 5. But we are yearning to go to Mbarara, to Chambogo, where even at times we can't afford our own transport of our children. To go back to university, we don't believe in what is ours. That's a big problem.
I'll give
if
you...
you gave me on maybe...
Yes, I'm giving you 1 minute to wind up because you're the last speaker of this segment, so you're winding it up.
Okay.
I want a call to action. What...
One,
Yes.
you know at times mindset change is also relative. It begins with you individually. You must believe that I should move out of this poverty. How do I move out? You begin struggling. It's a lion. If you don't run, it will do what? Eat you.
Eat you too.
As a district, we shall continue just like we have been doing to sensitize our community, to cry upon our people so that they can respect their leaders. If you cannot respect your leader, then you will not be guided. It's a big problem in Bukedi here. Somebody also did mention here that there are no role models. I remember one day, the late Rabban Kiria, when I was in his office in Kampala, he told me I will never pass on the road of Ikiki because they poured trash of sugar cane on me when I was a chairman LC5. Palisa, I will only pass there when I'm dead, and he did. It came to pass. He passed on that road when he was a dead man being moved from Palisa Council back to where? To his home in Kamonkoli. We have a problem in Budaka. Our today's youth, you can also only tell them of the Bugoro, the drugs. They do. Majority of them move around. They will abuse you as they want. This is an abusive society which does not want to learn and observe from their elders. So people fear coming back, and I pity you as you get back. If you're not sure that you can withstand the discomfort of being abused.
There are people
Stay
of
where
Budaka, you're all seated there. Is it true that you're an abusive community? Is
Yes.
there? Eh? You're not an abusive community? Some. Especially the...
So we need to know that we are responsible for ourselves. We are responsible for our being well. Without knowing that, then we are going nowhere. I sum it.
Thank
like
you so much, Honorable Member, for that submission. And I will say, still like I earlier said, with a population of 121,908 males and 159,629 females in 52,360 households, Budaka District is still grappling with a number of challenges that include poverty, also unreliable rainfall, and Today we've been discussing poverty and livelihoods. A number of issues have been raised, like the honorable members have said. They've explained why they think the district is still lagging behind and what could be the way forward. The biggest take home was mindset change so that the people can be able to benefit from the government programs that are in place to help each livelihood. And also they've called on to all the families to be able to support the young generation through the different vocational institutes, to take them to different schools so that they're able to come out as strong leaders in Budaka District to support and also uplift Budaka. Thank you so much for watching NTV People's Parliament. For those who are watching from home, we are coming to you from the eastern part of this country, and I proudly say we are in my home district. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Betty Mudondo. By the powers vested in me as the Speaker of the August House, I adjourn this House until next time.